In this special edition of Shared Vision, we focus on Australia and what the future holds.
Based in the Pilbara region of Australia, Hamersley Iron and Robe River are two of the group's largest producers of iron ore. Both mines are expanding production to meet the growing demand, and they're achieving further gains by sharing many of their essential assets. While remaining independent companies, a third organisation has been created as a vehicle for closer cooperation: Pilbara Iron. The process began in 2002 when Hamersley Iron and Robe River combined their rail assets to form Pilbara Rail. This allowed improved efficiency in transporting ore to the Dampier and Cape Lambert ports. The creation of Pilbara Iron now extends this concept.
We have growing demands, but so do our competitors. So people are in short supply, both technical people and operators. Equipment lead times are stretching out because everyone's buying trucks all around the world. Demand seems to be there very strongly. We've got to meet that demand, and that's challenging.
Argyle Diamond Mine is located in the Kimberley region of Australia, a remote area of great significance for the traditional communities that have been custodians of the land for over 40,000 years. But as a recent study makes clear, the indigenous people are still disadvantaged and dispossessed.
By whatever metric one chooses, the fate of Aboriginal people who live in the East Kimberley area is worse today than it was 20 years ago.
Rio Tinto's corporate policy is for local communities to share in the prosperity of a mine. And in the remote Kimberley region, there are sound commercial reasons for having a workforce that's locally based.
This project has been on the drawing boards for more than 20 years. We've taken the best that exists in other places, other refineries around the world. So most of the gear that we have here has been tried elsewhere in the world, but this is the first time it's all been assembled in the one spot.
A centralised control room improves communication and speed of response. It's a concept that also emphasises sustainability and community relations. Many goods and services have been locally sourced, and jobs have been offered to locals too, including an Indigenous employment scheme.
You can have a refinery that's technically very capable, but if the people aren't happy, if the people aren't working together, then we will not be a world-class business.
Although it was discovered back in 1968, the production of coal at Hale Creek in Queensland, Australia only began in 2003. But having waited so long just to get going, Rio Tinto wanted Hale Creek to be a very special place to work.
We all sat down and said, well, what is it that we want to create here? What's going to make us different from being just another coal mine? And we went through the vision of what our systems were going to be like, how we wanted our people to work together as teams, what kind of relationship we wanted to have with communities, and set ourselves some pretty high standards.
Hale Creek are also concerned to be good neighbours in the community too.
The attitude from the people at the mine has been that of being helpful. You know, where they could be helpful, they have been, and that's been the approach that we've taken. Seeing that they're our neighbours, then we have to get along with them. So we'll get a long way further with honey than we will with lemon. And I think everybody has that approach. They're fairly forward-thinking, they're fairly lateral thinking, and you know, it's a good working relationship.
The mining process requires substantial amounts of water, but Hale Creek are operating in a region where supplies are scarce, and the needs of other community members must also be met.